uh, as close as the best as we can. This one seems to have a little bit less of coma there. This is the original one from last week. Let me go reconfigure the lens here. I'm going to go on the other side. Here, we're going to put this back on the original. And this is 3-second exposure coming up. Okay, this is 3 seconds. Uh-oh. Hey, Jack, I've been on since 6. I was seeing clouds coming in, and I decided just to start on my own and talking about myself. And basically what I've done is I started before everybody got on. Nonetheless, I see threatening clouds south, southwest. Somehow they're being diverted towards the north and the south. So we've got an opening here. That's why I'm on M42 again, and it's easier for me to reach the focus. Yeah, I start at 6 o'clock at Eastern Standard Time. I know I posted 7, but when I saw the clouds at 5:30, I was been in the dome since 5:30 and running since 5:30. I decided to grab a bunch of pictures, and that's what I'm doing there now. This is, it's okay, Jack. It's my fault. That's the way I am. If I see 7 o'clock, I obviously start way before that, get set up and try things. But when I saw the clouds starting to arrive, I says, okay, I'm going to take as much pictures as I can do. And it's pretty well what I did. But I'm continuing here. This is F10, by the way, that I took earlier. The sky was still blue, so I couldn't even see any stars, and I was able to get that. So this is F10, Jack. I'm going to switch to the Universe Focal Reducer. There you go. This is the Universe Focal Reducer. So far, there's very, very little vigneting. None at all that I could detect, and no coma at all with that one. So this is with the Universe Focal Reducer. And here I'm going to switch to the larger lens focal reducer for the Universe that I was going to replace. Here, this is the larger lens. Again, no coma and no vignetting. It's very nice. And that's half a second or 600 milliseconds, if you want to be precise, exposure. Yes, it is. That's a larger lens assembly. It's not the FR2 yet. Hang on a sec. Just bear with me for a moment here. This is the original FR2. Yes, it is similar to the Universe, Jack. It's a very clean lens, there's no question. Here is the original FR2 that we had last week, the one that you like. That's the one here now. 600 milliseconds, FR2, original from last week. What a difference. What a difference. That's it there, and this is the original Universe Focal Reducer. Oh, I got that one here. Hang on. The one with the lens flipped. Hang on a sec. I have it right here. Oh, let me open it up. It's in here. It's reconfigure. Here it is. Didn't work well at all, so I took it off and I went back to the original. Here's the with the flip lens, and if you look on the upper right, severe coma, and if you look on the left at about 9 o'clock, quite a lot of coma. So I think the original one that we had last week is the winner. Definitely the winner. Oh, that might be a good idea, Jack. You certainly have the vehicle for it. Yeah, you should. It's yeah, I would. Okay, so this is the reconfigured lens, Jack. You can see there's a lot of coma on the upper corner, even on the left, upper left as well, and far left, and lower right as well. So this one is a bust. I'm gonna switch to the original one. Here's the original one. We got a little bit of coma on the right, upper right, but here's the thing: on the left we don't, and I do see a little bit of coma, vignetting on the left. So obviously the camera is uncentered, and this is producing the coma on the right. That's the best one so far by far. Me too. This is the layout. This is the original one. I think this is the winner for sure that we're going to start on it. But here's what I've done. We're not done yet. This is going to be critical. Uh, Here's the original with the coma corrector. I screwed a coma corrector to front, but it is 3 second exposure. So we do see coma on top. Although we got a coma corrector, it's still not enough. That's correct. F4.2 about. F4.2 is about the limit. But this one's got a coma corrector, so it's got a bit of magnification. And this is the original one without the coma corrector at 600. Yeah, the prior one is the original one. If you look on top on the tab, uh, yeah, it is, Jack. I'd say this is the winner for sure. I'd say that's the winner for sure. Very, very good. This one is 600 milliseconds, so it's just a little over half a second exposure, and it's FR2 original. It says right on top on the tab. It's got a darker writing. If I click, yeah, that's correct. This is the one, 600 milliseconds, which is slightly over half a second exposure, and it's FR2 original. Oh, I know exactly what you mean for not able to type. Yes, we do indeed. We'll see what they say about everything. Now, like this guy, 3 seconds. That's pretty good. I'm gonna go over and take off the. Okay, this is the original. This is live right now. Good evening, Ski. Nice to see you here. And just give me a moment. I gotta go take out the coma corrector, and I gotta go back to the original unit. I just gotta remember if the lens is configured properly. So just give me a moment, folks. I'll be right back. Okay, I just found another poker reducer here that I forgot about, that I tested last week. And I'm just going to compare it to the other one here. Just bear with me, folks, for a moment. I need to recenter this guy here. Okay. Okay, hang on a sec, folks. Okay, I'll be right back. We need to do another switch. Yeah, just bear with me for a moment, folks. I need to take apart one of the focal reducers and flip the lens to the original one of last week. Just want to make sure that both of them are pretty well identical. Just bear with me for a moment, folks, please. It's not going to take too long. All right, here we go. Aha! I found the issue. Okay, folks. All right, we're going to be back to what things should be in a moment. Just bear with me for a moment, please. And this time we're going to put a 10mm spacer on there. That is going to be cool. One of the lenses here was back not in the right place, actually. Let me start over again on this guy here. All right. Be right back, folks. We're going to switch over, and I'm going to put a 10mm spacer on there like Jack asked me to do last week. So with the original FR2. I'll be right back.
All right.
I blocked off some days in June, from June 1st to June 25th or something, just to,
Okay.
make sure we don't make doctor appointments until we decide what days, if we're going and what days we're going.
What got me to think about that is that Mike Barsotti was saying he was going to go to the Grand Canyon Star Party, so that got me thinking.
I was thinking, would these be okay on the sofa in the trailer? Or, to use
The
as a
color's
pillow?
not the right color, right?
Well, that blends with the
Before we get rid of them, try them out.
yeah, it blends with the light color. I mean, the whole thing is the same
Okay.
color. Yeah, I think okay. Woo.
It's very windy outside here, so, and I see thin clouds coming over. At least we did get a little bit of time to conclude some of the tests. This is the original one with the 10mm spacer jack. And holy Moses, this is ever nice and wide. This is the original with the 10 millimeter spacers, which I didn't have earlier. I didn't try the spacer. So yeah, I'm going to zoom that in to do a little bit more precision focusing in the center. I don't use a Batimov mask. It's too much trouble. I'd rather just use the super zoom here and look at the faint stars in there. Wow. It's only half a second, 500 milliseconds exposure. And look at the amount of detail we're seeing in there and the small faint stars in there. Wow. See the image moving? That is caused by the wind entering in the dome. It's a nasty windy night. We do have the 10 millimeter spacers. We've got quite a lot of them, in fact. But this is the original FR2 that we tried last week. Okay, hang on. All right. Let's bump that up now, and 3 seconds exposure. Oh yeah. Oh man, is that ever nice. Okay. Wow. Wow, 3 second exposure. It's just amazing. We do have a little bit of coma on top, but I really believe this is caused by the camera not being centered. Yeah, this is a 10 millimeter spacer though. Yeah, if I take the spacer out, it's reduced quite a lot. Hey, good day, Will. How are you? Nice to see you. Well, this is the original one, the original FR2 that we tested last week with a 10 millimeter spacer. That's true, Jack, but I really want to get the best as we could possibly have. You got to keep something in mind here. Nobody in the world makes a large format focal reducer, so I really need to work at this. Here you can see the vignetting on the left. Now it's not caused by the focal reducer. It's basically my scope. If you go too low on the 16-inch, the draw tube, basically the baffle tube that the mirror slides on is much longer than most other split caster grain, and this is what we're starting to see on the left. That tells you that the camera is not centered. Either it's sagging or it's sideways. I'd say more sideways. It's not in the focuser itself, the microfocuser itself. Now, I don't even know if the microfocuser is aligned properly. That's another thing. There is adjustment for that, and I've never bothered with it. So because we've got the vignetting on the left, we are going to have coma on the right, or upper right. So it's to be expected. Oh yeah, we could zoom a little bit, but I tell you one thing, here's 33%. Here's 50%. We don't need that, and that's full size. This is pretty cool. Wow. I wish we could try this on another split caster grain like a C11 or C14 or C8. That might work. There's a good chance it will. This is made for large format. I was thinking about Steve out in Battersea. He posted his website earlier on the group, and I think he'd be a good candidate to try it out and see what he thinks of it. I know Steve's been using the Universe camera with the Universe focal reducer. He might be able to and he's close to me. He's probably about an hour away from me. An hour and 20 minutes, give or take. And I had Steve in mind in Battersea. 2 hours? Okay. I'm not in Ottawa, though. I'm right off the 401, Steve, near a town called Prescott. or near Broadville if you wish. So not too far. It takes me an hour to go to Kingston, or actually 55 minutes to go to Kingston. So that's about an hour from here. It's not a big deal. I go to Kingston often, so on the weekend mainly, and I can always meet up with you and give it to you for you to try it out. I'd be curious because you've got a smaller aperture. My 16-inch does not like focal reducer. That's one reason I use that scope a lot, because it doesn't like focal reducers too much. What a better way to try to develop something on it. And by that time that someone grabs that focal reducer and try it on that scope, you're going to have perfect results. It's key, yeah. No, he's not across the bridge, actually. Across the bridge will be Ogdensburg, New York. I could throw a few apples across the river here, and I think I don't know if I'd be able to reach the shore. But it's about 1.6 miles. That bridge is about 1.6 miles that goes from Johnstown to Ogdensburg, New York. Steve has the universe as well, and he's been taking a lot of pictures with his universe and the universe focal reducer. And for him to try this one, it's going to be a whole new experience for him. He's going to have to cut back on exposure quite a lot, and I need to know how much he's going to have to trim the image a little bit about this coma issue that I have here. On mine, I have coma issue. It doesn't mean that you're going to have it. The reason is I'm not perfectly centered, and the electric focuser that I have, the micro focuser, is not perfect. I could see the camera tilted towards either the right or the left, whichever it is. That's why one side is all black. On the left, you see some darker shadows area from upper left to lower left, and that is vignetting. Therefore, the lens is not perfectly aligned with the optical path arriving in here. You're going to get a little bit of coma, meaning that we're out of focus here on one side. Yeah, vignetting's to be expected on such a big camera. These lenses, Steve, are much bigger than the original universe focal reducer, and we also have a lot more aggressive reduction. So I'm trying it out on the 22 millimeter right now, and I know 28.4 you will have. I'm pretty sure you're going to have some of the either vignetting or some of the coma. But the beauty of this is going to make your optical system so much faster and so much wider field of view that when you take the pictures, you'll be able to trim the edges of your pictures, basically, to get rid of that. That's part of processing, basically. Oh, I can't view any of this. Soul helmet won't even fit in there. Let me tell you why, David in the UK. This is a 16-inch telescope, and it's f10. That means the focal length is 4,064 millimeter. That means it's a very, very narrow field of view. There's no way in hell I'll be able to fit that in there. Not on this, not on a 16-inch like that. And the point tonight is to test focal reducers. That's why on top it says testing focal reducers. And what I'd like to do is, on the scope, is try another galaxy maybe, or something else. I've got the moon up right above me right now, and it's casting one heck of a shadow all over the place. And this is only 3-second exposure here. Is that David Paul from UK? Is that you, David? That's on? That you're with your 30-inch scope out in the UK? I think it is. I hope it is. Okay, it is you. All right, sounds good, David. Good, good, good. That's right. It would not have the focal length. So I'm still working with 4,064 millimeter primary here. The main scope is f10, 16 inch. This is massive. So to be able to reduce everything to fit M42 the way we're seeing it now, uh, quite remarkable. I'm going to try to aim this to the target. It is very, very hazy out here tonight. As you can tell, the background is not the best. I need to take a picture of this here, by the way, and I'm going to rename it. Bear with me for a moment, folks. We're doing a bunch of tests. And in Minaltaz, I'm not equatorially mounted. So we got to think of that. All right, there we go. Okay, we're back live. Yeah, this is about f4.2 roughly. Now for large sensor, it's very good still. I've got the 10 millimeter spacer. I'm very tempted to get up and take it off. But for the moment, we are going to swing the scope on something else, I think. I'll be right back, folks. Let me go. I was planning also to try the exterminator with a 2-inch adapter on it, which I have here right now, and I really wanted to do this. Yeah, give me a couple of minutes, guys. We're just gonna go outside for a minute and switch things around. And I'm gonna swing the scope on something else. I need to see if it's up first of all. So give me a moment, folks. I'll be right back. Yeah, here coming up. I got M42 in there, fully fitted. It looks good. Like 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's up to 2.3 plus, right?
That's the 16. Yeah, the 16 megapixel. I was gonna go on the Galaxy.
Need to ask Linda. She's ready to go back to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
You know, what the hell? Can visit the Watskis one more time and head out to the Grand Canyon. It would be interesting to stop at Flagstaff on the way back. They've renovated the telescope that Tombaugh used to discover Pluto.
Yeah.
It's different than the one we looked at, the Alvin Clark that we looked at. That was the one Lowell did when he did the mapping of the canals of Mars. But Tombaugh used a different telescope to discover Pluto. And that was just renovated up there.
It'd be nice to go back there.
Yeah.
We're back. I slew the scope and it landed right on it, so we're doing okay. Need to lower it a little bit. 23 seconds.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that focal reducer is working pretty good, I tell you. So here, there's no, I didn't take any dark frame or anything. This is raw, just the way it should be seen. So we're gonna jump. I'm gonna go to trigger mode, which is set for 10 seconds. I'm gonna have to readjust everything. Whoop, no, hang on. Here's what I need to do is focus. Get a bit more magnification here. Let's get a really ugly image. Focus. Now here's the funny part on M82 that I always find out. You're going to focus on either stars. That's going to be out of focus. The galaxy will focus on other little stars. Then this guy's going to... So stars are not the same spectral at all. And it throws the focus out completely. You need to go directly on the galaxy. Never mind what the star says on that specific instant. But it's... One. The only thing we're missing on this thing is sharpness. And the other software, such as the Universe and all of that, they have sharpness that is just incredible. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's go to the trigger mode and Jack, I have a guest here. I got Dr. Lance McIntosh is with me. He came in and kicked my door, and I had to let him in. Well, we got M82 in there, folks, and it's only 10 seconds exposure, and the game's only halfway, so yeah, God knows I need it. I don't waste money on me. I put money elsewhere. Okay, I'm trying to figure out here. I guess we could bring that in a little bit. Okay. Okay. I'm missing the sharpness of the exterminator. The exterminator, it just snapped. And it's so sharp, it's sickening to see the quality of the image compared to any USB camera. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, there is a little bit of vignetting on there. You're absolutely right, Steve. Let me go back to, yeah, there is. I've got that 10 millimeter spacer. I think if I take that out, we would be able to get rid of it. Okay, let me do some adjustments for, just bear with me for a moment, folks. We're just going to try to get a decent image happening. Okay. Yeah, I've got that 10 millimeter spacer, and this is something I don't want to have. Not on my scope, on somebody else's scope, yes. Okay. Just a sec. We are going to do a little something to show you folks. Now let's get a decent background. You don't want it ultra dark, you just want it light dark. You want is this. What we need to do is, if you look in the background where it's darker everywhere, we have a graininess. Every imaging camera has this graininess in there. Personally, it bugs the crap out of me. I couldn't care less with vignetting or chroma. The graininess bugs me because it robs away information that you have in there. And every imaging camera on the market has it. Whatever it's CMOS, CCDs are not as bad. They're better for that. So, with the software, I'm going to stack about 5, average, sky, and I'm going to align the frame, and I'm going to enable the average, and watch the graininess in the background disappear completely. And once we do that, we watch what's going to happen to the background. It's going to be beautiful. Stacking in average, not additive. I've got the digital bidding set at 2. Here you are. Didn't have supper yet. Okay, here we go. We got 3 frames stacking. Look at the noise. Completely gone. Really, all I would have needed is 3 or 4 stack. Oh yeah, this is smooth. It doesn't get any better than this. So at this point, we don't need a Peltier cooler. That's correct. So much for needing a Peltier cooler. And I'll tell you something else. The reason we don't cool our CMOS sensor is very simple. On the CCD compared to CMOS, you only got the CCD, basically your charge coupled device, and you got one small basic circuitry in there, which is a preamp. The information leaves the CCD, which is analog, and then goes to an AD converter, analog to digital converter, and then it'll go to a series of other circuitry, which are separate. That's why you need more components to do a CCD camera. A CMOS, on the other hand, on the CMOS, not only you got a bunch of preamps on there, you also got the AD converter, you've got a whole bunch of other circuitry that's built on the same wafer as the CMOS. Now, watch this. If you cool this, cooling the sensor, the CMOS, is one thing, but you're also cooling down the electronics that are not meant to be cooled. The lamination is going to happen. It's unavoidable. You're going to shorten the lifespan of your CMOS sensor by a large margin. Never use cooling on the CMOS. You're going to kill it. They're not made for it. There is another type of CMOS out there that you can actually cool for they're $11,000 just for the sensor. I'm sure you and I can all afford that. So, now you know about the difference between the CCD and CMOS. CCDs can be cooled as long as the casing is made out of ceramic. If the casing is made out of ceramics, on the CCD you can't cool it. Because the only section you cool is the detector itself. No other circuitry is cool. On the CMOS, they put everything on the same wafer. And those circuits are not meant to be cooled. Values are going to change. You're going to have a different, you're just going to have a different reaction as you do your imaging for longer exposures. And you're going to need a sophisticated software to remove all of that. What's going to happen with time? You're going to kill that sensor. CMOS do not last as long as CCD. And if you cool them, you're killing them even more. That's why all of our CMOS sensors, CMOS cameras, only have an ambient fan. It's basically to reach the ambient temperature of outside to the sensor itself, so when you take a dart, it will be matched. So right now we've got a 10-second exposure on M82, and we're just stacking 5 average, and we're lining the frame. So, pardon me? Oh crap, that goes like. Got it? Thank you. Appreciate it. What did you ask?
You're on 2.
Yeah, I'm on binning 2 as well. That's another thing too. The binning really helps. Now, are we going to be able to do adjustment? Well, what I'm about to do is a no-no. You don't want to do that, but I'm going to do it anyways to show you what's going to happen. Let's change the gamma. The next frame that's being stacked is going to be changed, and will no longer match those who are being stacked. Watch what's going to happen. You're going to get this Pink Floyd effect. Supposed to. It will. At 29 already. What we want to do is darken the background, and this is where the gamma comes in. See what's going to happen. It's going to take a few runs of stacking to see the changes. Best thing to do is to stop it and do the adjustment and start over again. Yeah, it's going to start that thing because it's going to lose the brightness. The brightness of the other frame already have. The next frame that you just changed, that I just changed, what's going to happen is it's going to be darker. The star is going to be darker. It won't be able to stack properly. It won't be able to find its way. Keeping the exposure short is a must. When you're ready to do imaging, then you could certainly apply a lot more exposure, which is generally is not needed. Here, I know what we're going to do. We are going to stop. I'm going to disable this. And let me, see. Now it's going to show us.
That was like it.
Let's adjust this guy here to a little bit darker. Focus is out. That's unusual. There's so many supernovas in this galaxy. It's just amazing. We're going to change. I'm going to leave this where it is, 10. And the beauty of it, you go to video mode. So when you go video mode, sure, you won't have as quite as bright as an image. That's okay, but it's perfect to focus. That, okay. Just bear with me, folks. Alright. Should be here. There you go. That applies to the S2.3 Plus, same thing. A little bit better. I think we've got some clouds come thin layer coming by. Whoop, that's not good. There you go. Let's lower the exposure even more. 1.5 seconds, that's good. All we need is a few stirs. And the refresh is going to be very quick. There you go. Oh, get away. There. Whoop, I passed it. Now you see the movement of the tracking when you use. Okay, this is not too bad. Let's try it. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go back to trigger mode. Loop, 10 seconds, it's plenty. If we go more than that, we're just going to overexpose the center. Okay, so now we're going to go to... The gamma is what's between here. On the universe it shows, but on here it doesn't. This is like a contrast here, actually. There you go. Nice. Not bad. Okay. I'm going to push my luck because at 15 seconds on the scope, being an Altaz is not good. I just don't want to overwash this. I wish I could use the exterminator and put this on because I tell you, all this faint detail in there would pop right out. Like it's overexposed, so let's go back. Right. Nice round stars. Yeah, we got vignetting for sure. Upper left, lower left, lower right, and upper right. So that's vignetting. Okay. Next is just curious to see what this is going to give us. Once you've got a decent image that's acceptable, that's when you engage everything else. Between 75 and 100 is the magic spot. Yeah, we got vignetting on all four corners, so that's my fault. We have lost a little bit of brightness in there. Right. I'm looking at the center of the galaxy here. I want to capture the detail in there. And, oh, that's nice. Here's the other thing you got to do. Saturation. Bring this down. The red's overwashing and the bluish is not strong enough. Watch air. See that? See what happened? The color we're bleeding over. So lowering the saturation, you're going to avoid all of this. And look at the sharpness of the image. So before we engage the stacking and all of that crap, we're going to fine tune the image. So gamma, no, not bad, but not. No, let's leave gamma the way it was. We're going to go work on the histogram. Okay. A lot of red in there, and that's because also we have the moon up. We need to compensate a little bit. the reddish and the bluish start to come out. A sensor is always more sensitive in red. You gotta lower that. And the degree of noise is going to change as well. I'm after the sharpness here. This is what I'm trying to get going to bring the best of the galaxy here. We don't have the luxury of having a sharpness feature like the Star Vision or the Universe has, or even the Exterminator. Okay. Okay, that's not too baggy. Let's go to darken that up a little bit, just a wee bit. In this case, 100 would have done perfect. Okay. Too dark. Hang on, folks. We're going to get it. Slowly but surely. That's not too bad, I guess. The idea is to bring that down where you're at the same color or darkness as the vignetting, and if you do that, you won't need any other so-called processing on the fly. Well, that's going to give us a bit more contrast. Well, we've got nice colors in there. Oh, it is. Oh, it is big time. Okay. Now we're ready to start stacking this guy. I think 5's too much. We'll go 4. Enable it and align frame. And sit back and see what's going to happen. Whoop, no, hang on. Let me stop this. Okay, what do we got here? 50? It's too much. So, how about 45? There you go. 45 is good. You could manually type this on top and you'll get the... Oh, maybe we should get 40. Well, that's all right. Okay. Now we'll get to enable this. Sit back and watch what's going to happen. Hopefully there's enough information there for the software to grab and align the frames. Because the image is much darker. We got one input. Wow, that computer really does it. It's like night and day for performance. Holy jumping Jesus. Wow. Pardon me?
Leave it out here all the time? You just leave it out here all the time?
Oh, I left it there last fall. I never tried it until last weekend now. Brand new. Got it built at Lenovo and all mine is. No, because I moved it away on the table. So it's all wet on the floor this week in here. Tall tap on top. I moved the computer away, so and the nice 32-inch curved screen is okay as well.
Getting pretty high tech here, Jack.
And this whole shed, doghouse, whatever you want to call it. Well, the noise is diminishing because now we're starting to stack the image. Now we got a little bit of green in there, so what we're going to do is, I don't know if we could try to lower the green a little bit. you didn't want to come in here, Jack, when you came. I had a nice seat for you here. Okay, the colors are going to change a little bit. I lowered the green, but yeah, but not for long. Claustrophobic? Green did it, lowering the green a little bit. The wires are awesome. That's what I like, because I know where everything is going. It's all needed because it all goes up to the telescope for different cameras, different settings, different frame grabbers, different whatever, you know. So the wires are hanging there and they're good. It's fuzzy a little bit, as I could see, but nonetheless, for 10-second exposure, it's not too bad. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go back to the actual. We're going to take a snap and set it and call it M82 sec. There you go. I don't know if I'm going to lose my alignment. Yeah, that's what I was going to do, actually. Steve, lower the green, that's the tad. Just a little more. Normally we shouldn't, but we have to, I guess. Uh-oh. It did stop. That is because I changed the image size. Okay. Oh, dummy I am. Hang on. We're not live, that's why. Okay, here we go. Here we go, folks. My mistake. Oh, that's right. Wait a minute. I've got the moon up right now, and it's casting one heck of a... Yes, a Homer Simpson moment. Indeed. Okay, so let's go back with the green a little bit. Because the red's coming out too much. If worse comes to worse, you just hit default. And everything should be balanced pretty well. For a bit of the red and a little bit of the green. Yeah, the moon is up pretty bright here, actually. But hey, it's is what it is. Now we're going to start the stacking procedure of averaging it. And we're going to try to clean up that image. Let's see what that's going to do. I'm still missing that sharpness in there. This is what I'd like to have. We're not 100% focused, and I'm mounted in LTAS, not equatorially mounted. That's another thing, but we'll get to have decent pictures. This is where the line frame comes. You could do this in LTAS, so it's going to lock on all of the main stars, and it'll look like as if it's I would have taken the dark frame, the background would be nice and dark, hot pixel will be gone. That's very true, Jack. With the moon phase and everything else, you're absolutely right on that. Moon or not, we get to observe. And that's the fun part of it. There's something else you can play with. It's called hue. Instead of going through individual colors, you could actually change that. You're gonna blend green, red, and blue. Give us. But because we're stacking though, it's not gonna do anything. Yeah, me too. I'm really hoping for the sharpness, but because it's a video camera inside, that feature is not in the camera. Hey, hang on a sec. I'm just gonna. Okay, this is not bad. Yeah, galaxies are my favorite, Steve, for me. That's the stuff that I really like. It's the most challenging of all, the most distant object. Wide field of view is cool, but man oh man, when you look at a galaxy, intergalactic, it's out of our backyard. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you one of the prototype, Jack, for you to try the. Oh yeah, Hickson 50 is my favorite. That's a challenging object. Magnitude 20.08. One of the galaxies in there, and it's quite the challenge. In March or April, we'll be able to do that because it'll be right above us, or near above, anyways, higher to the sky, and it'll be positioned properly to image. Tracking is not bad here tonight. I'm really shocked. That's because it's a wider, it's a bigger sensor. Wow, Steve, that's remarkable, getting the supernova. I don't know if it's going to fit in there, to be honest with you. MD1 is way too big for my field of view. Way too big. I didn't take a dark frame either. My idea tonight was to test focal reducers. It's way too big. I'm not a big object fanatic. I like stuff that are well framed and well resolved. My next test is going to be with the exterminator. I will show you the difference. You will not believe it. No, I didn't take any darks at all, Jack. What I did earlier at 5 o'clock, 5:30, I think it was, just open up and go, and grabbing images of all of those different focal reducers. And my goal tonight is to do focal reducers. And I'm just testing also the software here with this very specific computer. And man, oh man, this thing works. It's unbelievable. Seems to be clear for you guys to read. This is on DSL, by the way. This is right next to dial-up, for Pete's sake. We don't have any good internet in this area. They will not bother. It's too bad. Oh, did I do something here? I might have. Am I still broadcasting? Yep. Ah, she's aligning. Well, okay, that's about it there, folks. I did my test, and we're going to leave it at that for now. And the next test is going to be using the exterminator with this specific focal reducer. And for that, I need to see clearly on the other side, because there's tons of wiring all over. As Jack mentioned, it's like spaghetti factory. And I need to rig that up in the daytime. So I'm going to be doing that, and I think tomorrow night is going to be clear. If it's the case, I'm going to be back on again with the exterminator this time, and using the same focal reducer. Well, thank you for coming over, everyone. It's a lot of fun. It's very interesting. And results are satisfactory so far. We need some more tweaking on those focal reducers. Well, thank you everyone for stopping by.